Marissa Mostory. On the local scene, Public Service Week of Activities continues today with a public service speaking competition. 5 competitors are taking place in today's event, which was slated to begin at 2 p.m. at the Methodist Church Hall in Kingstown. The competitors are Keith O'Neill of the Audit Office, Kenu Providence of the Ministry of Finance, Shernell Hathaway of the Ministry of Legal Affairs, Swileni David, Ministry of National Mobilization, and Ashtisha Sam, Ministry of Tourism. Meanwhile, among other activities planned for Public Service Week includes a ministerial internship program, disaster preparedness workshop on June 19th and 20th, a public service retirement cocktail on June 21st, and a public service day march and disaster preparedness exhibition on June 23rd. The activities are being held under the theme, Disaster Ready Together, a public service commitment to resilience. The Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force, RSVGPF, continues to intensify its operations aimed at removing illegal firearms from communities across the country. In the early hours of Friday, June 13th, officers attached to the Rapid Response Unit conducted a targeted operation in the Diamond community, which resulted in the seizure of 2 prohibited firearms and a quantity of ammunition. The officers acted on credible intelligence and successfully recovered 1 AK-47 rifle with 19 rounds of 7.62 mm ammunition and 1 Aussie submachine gun with 40 rounds of 9 mm ammunition. The RSVGPF says this operation represents a significant step in the ongoing effort to curb the proliferation of illegal firearms and protect lives and property throughout St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Details of the seizure were formally announced during a press conference on June 16th at the police conference room. The matter is currently under active investigation, and anyone with relevant information is encouraged to contact the Royal St. Vincent and Grenadines Police Force. The Civil Aviation Department has announced the implementation of temporary no-drone zones in key areas as this country hosts the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States OECS meetings this week. The 7th sitting of the OECS Assembly took place earlier today at the temporary Parliament building in Glen. This will be followed by the opening ceremony for the 77th meeting of the OECS Authority from 6 p.m. at Sandals Resort at Bookman Bay. The temporary no-drone zones is being implemented to ensure the safety and security of the proceedings. The following zones are designated as no-drone zones during the specified dates. A 2 nautical mile radius around the Sandals Resort at Bookman Bay will be restricted to all drone operations from June 15th to 19th. A 2 nautical mile radius around the Parliament building at Kalyaquah will be restricted to drone operations today, June 17th. Drone operators are strictly advised to refrain from flying within these designated zones during the period stated. These restrictions are in place to maintain public safety and to ensure the secure hosting of visiting dignitaries. The Civil Aviation Department further reminds the public that drone operations in St. Vincent and the Grenadines require official permits. Additionally, drones must not be flown near airports or within aircraft approach and departure paths, as these actions pose serious safety risk and may result in legal consequences. On to regional news. As concerns mount over the surge in violence in Barbados schools, a counselor is urging a more targeted therapeutic approach rather than the piecemeal interventions currently being used. CEO of Supreme Counseling for Personal Development, Sean Clark, made these observations following the second violent incident at the Frederick Smith Secondary School in just 2 weeks. According to Barbados Today, in the latest incident, a student reportedly struck a teacher in the head with a rock, sending the teacher to hospital. The troubling act follows several altercations recorded at other schools earlier this year. While Clark welcomed government efforts to engage the Barbados Defense Force and the Barbados Youth Advance Corps, In new school support programs, he stressed that such actions must be complemented by thorough behavioral and mental health evaluations for troubled students, particularly in the light of limited financial and human resources available to schools. He insisted that a collaborative effort is needed to tackle the root causes of students' violent and disruptive behavior. St. Lucia's Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre says Nigerian President Bola Tinubu is to pay a week-long visit to the island later this month. Pierre told the reporters that the visit will be from June 28 to July 4th and will include both official engagements and private leisure time. Two of these days, June 30th and July 1st, will be dedicated to an official visit, with the remainder of the trip set aside as a personal vacation for the president, Pierre told reporters, adding, I believe that the visit of the President of Nigeria represents a unique and historic opportunity to deepen the bonds between Africa and the Caribbean. He said he had also extended an invitation to the leaders of the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, OECS, to visit St. Lucia during Tinubu's visit for formal talks, exploring avenues for cooperation in areas such as economic development, education, infrastructure, and diplomatic exchange. The OECS groups the islands of Antigua and Barbuda, Dominica, Grenada, St. Kitts Nevis, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Montserrat, the British Virgin Islands, and Anguilla. And finally, the news at this hour. Russia has carried out a mass missile and drone attack on Ukraine's capital, Kiev, killing at least 15 people and wounding more than 100 others, officials say. A drone smashed into an apartment block, destroying dozens of flats, and Ukraine's interior minister said the country had been hit by 440 drones and 32 missiles. The attack overnight into today was among the biggest on the capital since the start of Russia's full-scale war, and President Volodymyr Zelensky said it was one of the most terrifying strikes. According to the BBC, Russia's defense ministry said it had targeted Ukraine's military-industrial complexes and that all its targets had been hit. This has been WeFM's 3 p.m. News. I have been your presenter, Narissa Bostwick, saying thank you for listening. Do join us again at 5:30 p.m. when we will bring you our next newscast.